Hello everybody. Oops. It looks like I have a problem. Let's do this again. Okay. Okay, now I'm good. Hello everybody. I know that I've had to reschedule this several times. Unfortunately, it seems that the weather is really bad, at least for us here in Oklahoma. So, without further ado, I'm going to just start working on some stuff. And we'll chat while I'm doing that. So what I wanted to show you today is how to make a very, very pretty owl necklace that would kind of look like ceramic. And what you need is some white polymer clay, a little bit of chalk pastels, a needle. And if you haven't seen me making this needle, actually let me try and find my old, it's a quite old tutorial. Trying to find it. It's kind of hard. When I made one of these, I'm going to just leave it for a little bit later so I don't have you waiting for me doing that. But I'm showing how to do one of these working needles. All you need, you can just go to the dollar store and get a set of sewing needles. You'll only need the biggest ones of them. And then essentially what you do, you get a wire and you put it through the eye of the needle, and then you wrap it a little bit, because otherwise your needle will just slide out, right? And then you cover the whole thing with whatever, these are some cane remnants, whatever cane remnants you have, or whatever you want to cover it with. Hi Colleen, hi Anthony, hi Karen. And this is how you make one of these needle tools that are very spiffy to use, because you can do whatever you want with them. If I look a little bit scatterbrained, it's because I woke up not long ago. I had a very, very busy morning. I had a doctor's appointment, which was supposed to be at 9. I left the house at 8:15 to make sure I'm there in time. I got there 8:45, and then I waited, and then I waited, and then I waited, and then I finally saw the doctor at 10:30. But you know, I mean, she's very busy all the time. She's a very good doctor, so she has a lot of patients, and a lot of stuff can happen during the visits. So, and then I had to stop at the grocery store. I didn't get home till like 12:30, and I just fainted on the couch. I didn't fall asleep right away, but it didn't take me too long. Anyway, so what we have to think, and I guess I forgot to grab my cutter. I mean, honestly, this is a very cute type of pendant. And should I make it smaller or bigger? Let me make it bigger so you can see better what I'm doing. And what you know, oh, that's not good. I'm sorry. An oval cutter would do wonders. So this is to start with. So I'm going to use it, and this will be our base of working. All right, so one thing, we are going to do some more. Oops, of course I had to drop something. We are going to do some more about it. It will not end up looking like a total owl, but a total oval, but I promise you it won't be that hard. So first thing first, we need to kind of figure out where our head will be. And remember that generally speaking, whenever you try to make something that looks cute, so we're gonna make a cute pendant, the basics are big soulful eyes, small mouth, nose, beak, whatever it is that we are doing. Hi, Janine. So I'm going to grab my needle and I'm going to make an approximate head round shape here. This is going to be my head. Yes? Yes. So I'm going to also do something that you usually do not see in owls, but it makes for very pretty and cute stuff. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if you see this properly. So see, I made like a circle here. We are going to make the owl tilt its head. So to take a very, very gentle approach to this, we are going to give it a, so half would be here, the center of my circle, and I'm going to make a very, very slight line with my needle to have it as so it is right here, to have it as point of reference. Then I know I'm going to make my eyes, so I'm going to make them a little bit wider. So these are going to be my eyes. And this is, I go a little, like 1 millimeter below the center. This is where the beak is going to be. So in order to do this, did I say hello, Carlene? If not, I'm and of course I did not bring my other cutter. So for the next thing, I'm going to just check and see which of these are the best, because I need 2 rounds. So first, let me check with the Bitty clay doodlers from Poly Clay Play. I think that, yeah, they are too small. I need something a little bit bigger than this. So the smallest circle in the circle cutters is too big, so that is not going to work. So let me get, this is not round. Checking my Kemper cutters. These little boxes, you can also get them from Poly Clay Play. They are really nifty to store stuff. So, oh, it is not a round, it is a teardrop. this is around. So this looks like it's exactly what I need. So I'm going to do 2 of these, and I'm going to still use the doodlers because I'm going to need a little point in the middle of these. So grab the only thing with the doodlers is that you need to empty them using a needle or something. Okay, so there we got this. And first, if that helps you, you can use whatever heart thing you might want, just to get your bearings here. But the general idea, you want it to be kind of like this. And then the next thing we do is make feathers. So just go ahead and use the needle. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, so it's not very well focused. Give me just a second to focus it better. All right, there we go. Now you can see much better what I'm doing. So what you want to do at this point is to just draw these little lines that will look like feathers. And yes, you want to go a little bit over the edge. So start with the very middle of this, and then keep going, keep going. So that you'll have quite a bit of dimension here. But you want to go all the way in, and also first go a few times with the needle held in a diagonal like this, so that you'll increase the 3D. And I know, you can always use a mold. I'm sure that there are quite a bit of molds out there. But I find that something that you do by yourself without it being a mold brings more joy to the soul. I don't know how to put it otherwise. Alrighty, so now I'm going to gently kind of shave off all these, because I want this area to be fairly round. Let me zoom out a bit. Alrighty. Now, the next, remember we still have these two. We still have these, so I'm going to put them aside. I'm going to put aside this as well. Now, I need the chalk pastel. And I'm going to grab me some brown and a piece of wax paper. And shave a little bit of the chalk pastel here. And then grab a paintbrush and try to go only over the area that is feathered. But yeah, last evening we weren't supposed to have, or afternoon, we weren't supposed to have anything in terms of weather. So I still have some here. That means we weren't supposed to have any weather. At least that was the word Sunday when I rescheduled because of weather. Now you can leave it like this if you want, but I'd rather do a little bit of lifting using packing tape, just to make things look a little bit more ceramic-y if you want. Alrighty, so this should be it. Now, my next step is to do some body type things. So first what I'm going to do is, must never lose my, remove the finnegan here. And then I'm going to give it, so right here, that's all you need, right here, and go like this. Remove this. You want to go a little bit in, just to have a nice flat. All right, now don't throw this away yet, okay? And then we'll have another thing to do. We don't want it to be too fat, so I'm going to shave a little bit. The thing is that you need to give it a little bit here as well, so it would be right in the very middle. And as I said, I don't want it to have too big of a belly, so I'm going to shave just a little bit more from here, and then again go in and get all these unsightly areas. Now we are going to have 3 areas on the bottom here, right? One of the areas thank you. Well, you can always see it again in the replay, Mary. It takes usually about half an hour at most before it's posted after the live is over, so you can always see it. All right, so we are going to have 3 areas, and the areas are wing here. It's like it's sitting on the side a little bit and doing this. Okay, so we're going to have one wing here. So you see, just extend where you made the cut and go a little bit ovaloid here. Let me make sure that you can see the line. Yes, you can see the line. And then we are going to kind of go parallel to this one, like this, almost parallel. This is pretty much what you're supposed to have in the end. Okay, and now we are going to start with the belly, and with the belly we are doing the exact same thing that we did on the top of the head. And just making feathery stuff, feather, 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 feather. And we are not going to treat it right now. We are going to use some chalk pastel, but not right this second. And again, the same as we did on the top, go with the needle a little bit in a diagonal compared to the, so like this, so that you round this and here, and then just go. See, I did longer strokes before, now I do shorter strokes of the needle, just like this, just like this, so it would look nice and feathery. There we go. So make sure that you have a good end here and no stray. So I'm going to get rid of the little strays here. Now, what is important, I want to do first the body and do the head the last. So now what I'm going to do is, first of all, get this area all beveled. Which you can do with a tool if you so desire. Oh, let me see. Remember, I have my wax carvers that works so good. But you can use a bowl stylus, you can use all kinds of other things. Then I'm going to do the same on this one. Give it a little bit of beveling. You don't have to cut here. Here there's no cutting. So just, I can use my finger first. It helps. I love using my fingers when I'm shaping clay, using my hand. I like doing that more than using tools. I don't know, you probably notice that whenever I use paint, I get my hands dirty, because this is how I feel the colors. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'm just weird. And pardon my, you see that I have some nail polish off, but that is because I had to take out my driver's license out of my that little transparent pocket in the wallet, and I couldn't grasp it. In the end, the receptionist had to do it for me. Alright, so we are good now. Put this back here. And I'm going to again use the needle. So we are going to make feathers. So you start like this with two lines. Then you do one line in the middle, and then simply we do the feathery stuff. So let's make another feather. Of course, you can make them separate and then just get them on top of everything, but I prefer to do it like this. It's easier. And make sure to do the ones on the, oops, I did it wrong direction of the line, I guess. So you always go in between the previous ones. I know it seems a little time consuming, but remember, everything that's worth it is time consuming. And the other thing is that somehow people don't seem to appreciate stuff that they didn't have to either work for, pay a lot for. So trust me, if you do this, you'll be way more appreciative of your little owl. Now remember, when you get here, do not try to go in this direction. Keep going vertical. And then I'll show you how to do a little bit of dimension on the leaf, on the feathers, after we do all of them. Because without that dimensionality, it will be a little bit blurry as to where's the belly and where's the wings. And but yeah, as I was saying, the weather last evening, initially Sunday, they said we wouldn't have any weather. Then suddenly Monday evening they said that, oh yeah, you are going to have bad weather, and it is going to be early in the morning till about noonish. And then around 10 o'clock yesterday, they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna have bad weather from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. And then of course I rescheduled, And guess what? We didn't have bad weather until like 7. But I didn't want to just keep yo-yoing on my scheduled live. Now, to color the wings, you might need a much thinner paintbrush. And then, as I said, let's do the dimensionality a little bit. See, I'm going to still use this, and I'm going to go a little bit under these. And make them a little raised. As you can see, they are a little raised. I'm going to separate them a little bit at the bottom here to make the impression of wing more noticeable. And the same here. Let's define the ones on the very edge as well. There we go. And as I said, we are going to use a much thinner paintbrush for the belly, and you'll see in a minute why. So now I'm just removing all the little bits and crumbs. So I'm going to still use this for I'm trying to find my very thin paintbrush. I have a very thin paintbrush. Okay, I'm going to use first the more regular paintbrush, and I need more. I'm going to actually mix a little bit of darker brown with some russet brown, just a little bit more cinnamon-like. I mean, this, just a little bit. All right. So, first thing first, I'm going to use the thin paintbrush to make a few dots on the belly. and you want the color to be very strong for this. Okay, now I'm going to grab the other brush and mix a little bit that cinnamon with the regular brown, and then go on the wings. Now on the wings, make sure that you see how I'm doing. I'm not just brushing, I'm going in to make sure that the chalk pastel goes all the way in between all those little nooks and crannies. And I guess I'm gonna need more chalk pastel. And the thing with the tape, lifting some with the tape, is not just because you want to enhance the ceramic look like, but also you don't want to spread any of the brown chalk pastel over the white clay. So let's do this size too. I'm going to have to reshape this paintbrush. Okay, make sure that you got enough on the sides. Okay, I guess we are good. So for now, I'm pretty much done with the chalk pastel. So let me put it back, because you saw I am the queen of dropping stuff and tipping stuff and toppling stuff and all that. We don't want any accidents. And let me clean my little area here. Okay, and of course we are going to use again the tape a little bit, but just on the wings. You don't really need to insist on the belly. A little bit on the belly, but not too much. But you definitely want to lift away from the wings. Not a lot, but enough to not let it be all brown and make the whole thing impossible to see everything. Hi, Ilyanka. Yes, I am. Finally, I am. Okay, so my next thing will be, I'm going to get, and I don't even need it to be this thick. I need it much thinner. So I'm going to go like on a 4. A little bit of contamination here, but that's not too bad. So I'm making pretty much just the very bottom of my little owl. Okay, and I'm going to work this a little bit off the main thing, just for the, because I don't want to bother what's underneath. So I'm first doing this. Remember to have that tapered off edge. And then I'm going to feather it. So first long strikes of the needle, and then we go back with smallish. Actually grab this because it's easier to move around. So now we are using small strokes of the needle. And the same as before, try to come with them all the way down. And then you can gently shave the unruly ones. So this would be a regular owl. You can use a softer brown if you so desire on the coloring. And now you can see that I did get quite a bit of unruliness here. So I am going to do some decoupage, and now we can place it on our little owl. And there we go. And right now it looks like some crazy dwarf, bearded dwarf, right? It's not gonna end like this. Now I'm going to work each of these eyes the same way. So I'm first doing a diagonal, so the center would be a little bit sunk in. Right, so don't worry about it being all round or not, because it's going to be covered by the eye itself. So first long needle strokes. I have so many mold ideas in my mind, and I wish I could find somebody to make them. Just give me a tiny bit of royalties. I am not greedy. Before the pandemic, I actually had started negotiating with some Chinese companies about that and cutters. But then the pandemic came, and I am sorry to say, but I didn't really want anything made in China at that time. Alright, so now we start with the small strokes. So yeah, it will look a little bit like an iris, but not entirely. Hey, I'm trying to do this middle area. Alright, now put this to the side and do the second one the same way. And of course I dropped my needle. Ow. Finnegan brought his bowls here. I just noticed. I have, instead of ice cubes tray, I found on Amazon these little bubbles full of water that are in various colors. And many times when I'm handling them, I drop them. And I don't always find them. Finnegan finds them. He experiences a lot of joy and pleasure playing with them, because they are about, I don't know, 1.25 inches in diameter, so the perfect size for his little paw. Oh, come on, sit there. So again, I'm trying to, as you saw with the other one, this actually might have gotten too wide. No, not really. It's okay. So long strokes first. Okay, so now I'm going to do the small strokes with a lot of emphasis on the edges, because you want the edges to be very feathery. But at the same time, do not forget the middle that has to be a little bit sunk in. Alright, before I place the areas around the eye now, what I need to do is the beak. And I'm going to use a little bit of cadmium yellow. Not a lot. And I'm going to make a little beak. So you don't want it to be too big, so pretty much round and tapered, flatten, and this is way too big, so it's going to be much shorter. Alright, and place it right here. This is why you got your little dot to show where it's supposed to sit, and if you're not careful, you put it not proper in a proper place. I got it too much to the okay, so now we can start setting the eyes. Now there will be a thing here that you have to be very careful about. So I'm going to choose this area in the middle, and make sure that you place it properly here. Because you want it to, where the heck did I pick up? Oh, it was already here. I contaminated with yellow. Alright. Just need this to be stuck in place here. And now we can go wild with the edges here. And let's grab the second one. Now what I was saying that you need to be careful here with is that at the very center they will overlap. Okay, this one got to be too big, so they kind of need to be even. So they will overlap, as I was saying. And you need to reflect that in the feathering here. So this is what happens with the real owl. The feathers will kind of overlap here, so make sure you do a proper overlap. Okay, so we got this. Now I'm going to use again a little cutter, and remember this is on a 4. I'm going to go actually with like a 7. All right, and again the itty bitty doodlers. So what I want is something that's just a little bit bigger than this in here. So I think this should be just fine. So actually maybe a little bit bigger even than this. Let me get this out for now. Yeah, let's get this one. Of course it went sideways. Okay. So again, working on the acrylic thing. And you know what, actually I'm going to do this in black directly. Better than try to do again the whole chalk pastel and maybe contaminate something. Okay, so I use the blue one. Alrighty. Now gently place this here. And then we are going to use a ball stylus to kind of bring it over. Not a lot. Kind of feather it over the white here. And where you want to go to insist some more is, and I need a different size, is here you want to go a little bit downwards. And here upwards. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just gently feather it over the feathered area. And you can do this with the white and chalk pastel, as I said. But we are going to bring this here like this, and here like this. Alrighty. And now the piece, the resistance, the French say, what's going to make your little owl pop out like crazy. I'm going to make the actual eyes, and now they will not be yellow. They will be black. So they will be black and they will be shiny. So let me see. This is a bit too much. You just need to make a bead that's about the size of this. That's too big. That's still too big. This is it. All right. So I got the bead. Make sure that it's nice and round. And then we are going to cut it in half. And kind of, because of course it's going to get flattened a little bit. And just place it here. Now remember, this is not, I mean, you can, if you want, of course, you can glaze it, but I'd recommend leaving it like this. But minus one thing, let me find it. this, because this can be baked. Right here. And very gently. Now remember, this may look milky before it dries out, but it's going to be nice and shiny. Just going to wait a little. And I'm telling you, these eyes will make the whole owl look quite adorable. And the way you fix it as a pendant, you just get the hole in there, and you either put a bail or a big jump ring. And there we go. Just remember, the eyes have to be shiny. So whatever you use for varnish, you just want to make it shiny. And let me zoom out so you can see the whole thing better. There we go. It's a little cutie pie. It's not super hard to make. And you can even make it a tufted owl. You can put some tufts here to make it look even prettier. But yeah, the general idea about the whole look, the whole secret in the look is with the eyes to be big, black, and shiny. That's the whole thing. And as you can see, it looks fairly realistic. So you can go ahead and what I would do now, because of the chalk pastel, what I would do, I would use the satin Sculpey or whatever non-glossy finish you have, varnish you have in your drawers, shelves, whatever. Just because, but it doesn't really matter, because even if it rubs off a little bit, you just get the whole ceramic look even better. So the whole idea behind this is that because of the way it's worked, remember what I always tell you, that the biggest problem with polymer clay is that you have to work a lot. Because polymer clay is a plastic, yeah? And you have to work a lot on it to make it not look like plastic. So when you do this, it looks more like ceramic because of the way it's worked out. It looks more like ceramic than plastic, because you don't have a lot of plasticky things looking like this. And this is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go back to being dead for the world. But anyway, and one good thing, I'm losing weight a little bit, so that's yay. But I think that my T4 thyroid medicine needs to be upped a little bit, because it's the second time it got a little bit. It is a little low. So anyway, I hope you'll enjoy making your own little owl. I hope it's not too difficult. And you can even, if you know how to make molds, you can make your own mold and then just go ahead and just paint it or use chalk pastels and all that. Okay, thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. And let's hope Sunday nothing happened and we can have the live at the regular time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.